You're watching Tag TV.
Hello viewers, I'm your host Chandrakala Chaudhary with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires, for the G20 summit. Before participating in the actual summit, where Modi is poised to raise a number of pertinent global issues, he attended multiple events, including bilateral talks with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. A report.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was in Buenos Aires to participate in the G20 summit, met Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and extensively discussed his plans to scale up investments in India's technology, farming and energy sectors in the next 2-3 years. The meeting that came ahead of the summit also focused at the bilateral ties between the countries, where both resolved to take further steps in order to deepen the ties. Saudi Arabia has been planning to push a large investment in the Indian market. The joint leadership also discussed the supply of oil and petroleum from the Gulf country to India.
There was very specific discussion that took place between the two leaders on how Saudi Arabia can enhance its investment across a number of sectors in the next 2 to 3 years. The Crown Prince informed the Prime Minister that Saudi Arabia will be finalizing an initial investment into the National Infrastructure Fund. He also referred to future prospects for investment in the technology sector, in the agricultural sector and in the energy sector.
Modi also had a meeting with United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, during which the two leaders discussed India's role in the next year's climate summit in Poland. Modi is in Argentina's capital for the G20, with trade, migration and protectionism to be the hot topics at the summit. The Indian Prime Minister also attended a yoga session in Buenos Aires, talking up the ancient practice and peace it brings as a gift from India to the world.
आप सभी जनों को 125 करोड़ भारतीयों के तरफ से मेरा बहुत अभिवादन.
The summit comes amid rising global tension with Russia over Ukraine and US trade row with China. US President Donald Trump has cancelled a meeting with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in protest at Russia's seizure of Ukraine's naval boats. The summit is also a diplomatic test for Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman amid continuing questions about Saudi state's possible involvement in the murder last month of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in Turkey.
Moving on, in a joint endeavour of India and Pakistan, the foundation stone for the religious Kartarpur Corridor was laid on 28th November. This proposed border corridor between two countries will connect the Sikh shrine of Dera Baba Nanak Sahib in Indian state of Punjab and iconic Gurudwara Darbar Sahib Kartarpur in Punjab state of Pakistan. The corridor, which will be operational by next year, is intended to allow religious devotees from India to visit the Gurudwara, which is some 4.7 kilometers from the India-Pakistan border, without a passport or visa. Although India has supported the corridor construction and Pakistan's move, it has clearly said no to Pakistan's outreaching efforts of holding talks with India. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has said that India will not participate in upcoming SAARC summit in Pakistan unless the country stops emanating terrorism from its soil. We have Mr. Kamar Agha, a foreign policy expert, with us, who has been closely following the Indo-Pakistan developments. Mr. Agha, do you think the Kartarpur Corridor is going to induce any change in the status quo vis-a-vis India-Pakistan bilateral relationship?
I don't think there will be any change in status quo or bilateral relation between the two countries, because India has made it categorically clear that terror and talk will not go side by side. Yeah, if they take some action against terrorist organizations and persons who were responsible for 26/11 and close down militant camps which they are running across the border, then India may consider resuming negotiation with Pakistan. Otherwise, I think difficult. We have a democracy. Public opinion is not in favor of having negotiations with Pakistan at the moment.
Moving on to the occupied territories of Gilgit-Baltistan and POK that have been reeling under Pakistani subjugation for more than 7 decades. Islamabad has used all its brute force to marginalize and suppress the indigenous people of the regions. Although the country has repeatedly claimed the region of its own, its perennially growing hunger for the land and resources of the region has left the people in a state of acute poverty. Mega projects which will cater the needs and luxuries of Islamabad are being pursued aggressively. However, a wave of resistance is gaining strength every single day. A report.
Activists of Jammu Kashmir National Independence Alliance took to the streets of London to demand an end to the decades-long subjugation and economic depredation of the illegally occupied regions of Gilgit-Baltistan and POK. The protests came at a time when Pakistan's Chief Justice Saqib Nisar was seeking donations for the construction of Diamar Bhasha Dam, a mega project set to displace thousands of locals of Gilgit-Baltistan, subsequently pushing them into a state of abject poverty. The protesters were carrying placards saying "No to Diamar Dam" and abolish terrorist charges against human rights activists in Gilgit-Baltistan. They also demanded Islamabad establishment to keep its hands off the resources of the occupied region.
पाकिस्तान के चीफ जस्टिस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस साकिब निसार साहब आजकल इधर यूके में आए हुए हैं, जो कि दियामर डैम की फंड्स के हवाले से मुख्तलिफ शहरों में वो प्रोग्राम जो है ना वो कर रहे हैं, जिसके ख़िलाफ़ जम्मू कश्मीर नेशनल इंडिपेंडेंस अलायंस ने मुज़ाहरा भी किया और पाकिस्तान के चीफ जस्टिस से ये कहा गया है कि अगर आपने सियासत करनी है तो आप अपने अहदे से रिज़ाइन करें और सियासत में आएँ, नंबर 1। नंबर 2 ये कहा गया है पाकिस्तान के चीफ जस्टिस साहब को कि चूँकि ये जो गिलगित बल्तिस्तान है ये पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा नहीं है, पाकिस्तान को पानी और बिजली की ज़रूरत है, तो वो पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो है ना वो डैम बनाएं। गिलगित बल्तिस्तान जम्मू कश्मीर चूँकि एक मुतनाज़ा स्टेट है, उस स्टेट के अंदर कोई इस तरीके का बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट जो है ना वो शुरू नहीं किया जा सकता। उसके ख़िलाफ़ गिलगित बल्तिस्तान और जम्मू कश्मीर के लोग इसके ख़िलाफ़ एहतजाज कर रहे हैं। हम ये कहना चाहते हैं कि पाकिस्तान के चीफ जस्टिस साहब को कि वो अपने दायरा अख्तियार में रहें। पाकिस्तान के चीफ जस्टिस का जो दायरा अख्तियार है वो पाकिस्तान की हदूद के अंदर है, हदूद के बाहर वो अपना आइन और कानून लागू नहीं कर सकते हैं।
आजादी फिर क्यों ना मांगे आजादी, पाकिस्तान से मांगे आजादी।
In order to meet its materialistic needs, Pakistan has been exploiting the occupied regions for decades. On a number of occasions, it has claimed the region to be its own, but has always accorded it a stepmotherly treatment.
Pakistani forces, we want freedom, we want freedom।
पहले भी पाकिस्तान ने जो है ना मंगला डैम वो जबर और ताकत के ज़ोर पर जो है ना उसको बनाया था और लोग जो है ना आज भी सेटल नहीं हो सके हैं। आज भी वो पाकिस्तान के दूर दराज इलाकों के अंदर उन पर मुकदमे कायम किए गए हैं, उनको अगवा किया गया है, उनको कत्ल किया गया है, तो वो सेटल नहीं हो सके हैं और मुआवजा भी जो है पाकिस्तान ने नहीं दिया हमारे लोगों को।
जिस कश्मीर का खून से सींचा वो कश्मीर हमारा है।
People with objectivity who seek equal rights for Kashmiris are subjected to brute Pakistani force. Their voices are muzzled. They are implicated under false charges, abducted if they start gathering traction, and killed after they become a challenge.
Bajwa forces, Bajwa forces, Bajwa forces।
जो लोग खित्ते में गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में बिलखुसूस इंसानी हकूक़ के लिए बात करते हैं और इन सारे एनवायरमेंटल इश्यूज़ के हवाले से बात करते थे, ह्यूमन राइट्स के हवाले से बात करते थे, तो उनको ऐसी गैर इंसानी सज़ाएँ देके बेसिकली निशान इबरत बना दिया गया कि इस इलाके में जो कोई भी इंसानी हकूक़ की बात करेगा, मादी वसाइल पर उनकी ऑनरशिप की बात करेगा तरक्की की बात करेगा, आम आदमी के एम्पावरमेंट की बात करेगा, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट्स की बात करेगा, उसको निशान इबरत बना दिया जाएगा।
Oppressed Kashmiris also demand the restoration of state subject rule of 1974 in Gilgit-Baltistan, as its abrogation has fostered a massive demographic shift in the region, which activists accuse is being carried out under the command and courtesy of Pakistan Army and ISI.
Moving on to Afghanistan, where the Taliban has been continuously carrying out deadly attacks. It has ramped up its violence several folds on both the civil and the military facilities in recent weeks. Meanwhile, in yet another attempt of reaching out to the insurgents, President Ashraf Ghani has formed a negotiating team which will seek to bring Taliban to the negotiating table. The international community has unanimously backed Ghani's decision and has urged the Taliban to join the peace process for the welfare of the country. A report.
Aimed at resolving the quagmire created by the 17-year war in Afghanistan, a two-day conference was jointly hosted by Afghan government and the United Nations in Geneva. The conference evaluated whether strategies and aid being offered to Afghanistan were bringing any tangible developments in the volatile situation of the country and if the situation was conducive for the withdrawal of foreign troops. The members of the international community pledged their support for the peace process in Afghanistan. Amongst those who expressed their support for peace process was US Under Secretary of State David Hale, who said peace in Afghanistan was possible and called on Taliban to commit to a ceasefire.
A Taliban commitment to a peaceful outcome is long overdue. We call on the Taliban to commit to a ceasefire and appoint an authoritative negotiating team. For our part, America continues its support for an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned process. Peace in Afghanistan is possible, and we must all seize this opportunity.
So we are here today to give all our support to the Kabul process. We believe it is time for concrete talks about peace to begin, and by the time the talks begin, the parties should already be able to rely on full and well-coordinated international support.
Earlier, Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani had apprised the conference that he had formed a 12-strong negotiating team to seek a peace agreement with the Taliban in a democratic and inclusive society that respects the right of women.
We seek a peace agreement in which the Afghan Taliban would be included in a democratic and inclusive society respecting the following tenets. First, the constitutional rights and obligations of all citizens, especially women, are ensured. Second, the Constitution is accepted or amendments proposed through the constitutional provision. Three, the Afghan National Defense and Security Forces and civil service function according to law. Four, no armed groups with ties to transnational terrorist networks or transnational criminal organizations or with ties to state, non-state actors seeking influence in Afghanistan will be allowed to join the political process.
However, the country's sustained outreaching endeavors to bring the Taliban to the negotiating table are seemingly yielding no results, as Taliban has been unrelenting in its attacks on civilians as well as the government facilities.
По-прежнему серьезно обеспокоены продолжающейся деградацией военно-политической обстановки в стране. Последовательно исходим из того, что афганский кризис можно урегулировать исключительно политическим путем. Востребован запуск широкого межафганского инклюзивного диалога с участием правительства, движения талибов и всего спектра общественно-политических сил.
Terrorism and drug trafficking have always been mutually reinforcing in Afghanistan. We need a comprehensive strategy to fight the drug menace, which must include economic development in this resource-rich country. Connectivity is key, and Iran's sea and rail links, including Chabahar, are essential for Afghan development. It is regrettable that unlawful unilateral sanctions impede cooperation in this regard.
Scores have been killed and hundreds others have been grievously injured in a series of high-profile attacks carried out by the Taliban in recent weeks. Recently, Taliban gunmen attacked a British security contractor's compound in Kabul, killing at least 10 people. The attack on a well-protected site underlines how insecure Kabul remains despite efforts by the US and the Afghan government to open peace talks with the Taliban to end more than 17 years of war.
The Afghan establishment has repeatedly accused its neighbor in South and East Pakistan of nurturing and propagating terrorism on its soil. The leadership also says that violence will come down significantly if Pakistan stops patronizing terror. Moving on to the Maldives, where the regime change has induced a dynamic shift in the foreign policy of the country. In a contrast move to the previous dispensation stand, Ibrahim Mohammed Solih-led government in its first diplomatic engagement has reached out to its nearest neighbor and the largest democracy, India. The relations between the countries had touched an unprecedented low during Chinese protege Abdullah Yamin's rule. A report. In an outreaching endeavour to repair and provide an impetus to the bilateral ties between India and the Maldives that plummeted to an all-time low during autocratic regime of Abdullah Yamin, a political cum diplomatic delegation led by the Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid visited Indian capital New Delhi. Shahid reiterated his government's India First policy and said that his government looks forward to work closely with the government of India on all issues. While expressing his gratitude to the Indian government for its consistent support to the archipelago nation, Shahid reaffirmed Maldives' special, close and friendly relations with India and assured that the government of Maldives will be sensitive towards India's security and strategic concerns.
India is our best friend. India has been there for us at all hours of need, be it in 1988 when there was a terrorist mercenary attack to the Maldives, or be it the tsunami when the entire country was inundated. Your naval ships steamed off into the Indian Ocean territories. At the same time, you had your naval ships steam into Maldivian archipelago with the required assistance. In the more recent past, we have had the water crisis in Mali. It was India who airlifted the required water for us.
India reiterated that it attaches highest importance to its relationship with the Maldives, which is marked by trust, transparency, mutual understanding and sensitivity. Underscoring the government of India's neighbourhood first policy, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj said that India was ready to fully support the government of Maldives in its socio-economic development. While lashing out at previous president's administration, Shahid emphasized that this will be the dawn of an extraordinary relationship between the countries. President Solih's visit to India in December was also finalized.
Former President Yamin Abdul Qayyum tried to be a puppet master. He thought he could be a puppet master, playing India against China, China against India. Our policies would not be like that. We would have excellent relationship with our closest neighbor, our good friend India.
Maldives also sought a financial assistance from India for the country, while he apprised that his country was reeling under massive Chinese debts. China, which has drawn widespread criticism for its expansionist agenda under the pretext of the Belt and Road Initiative, received a major setback when Maldivian administration hinted at reconsidering its free trade agreement with it. Former President and Chief of Maldivian Democratic Party Mohammed Nasheed had said that the Chinese projects in the country were essentially one-sided and exploitative.
Former President Yamin has taken the country to the brink of bankruptcy. We need urgent assistance to gap the budget issues that we are having. We need budgetary assistance. We also have come into office with a lot of pledges to the people. We need to start delivering them, and we are looking for the generous assistance of India and other countries in delivering this.
Solih's transition team says it had been told the country owed $1.5 billion to Chinese lenders, but fear it could be much higher. Even a debt of $1.5 billion would be more than a quarter of the country's annual gross domestic product. The Maldives, famous for its luxury resorts on palm-fringed islands, is the latest in a number of small countries where China has invested millions of dollars building highways and housing as part of its Belt and Road initiative. India also welcomed Maldives' decision to rejoin the Commonwealth and expressed India's support for it. Moving on to India, that over the past few decades has witnessed the launch of an increasing number of film festivals. From beaches of South to the mountains of North, a number of stunning destinations are playing host to these festivals, making them even more worthy of attention. Kashmir World Film Festival, organized in the picturesque city of Srinagar, is one among these film festivals that can fulfill both your cinephilia and wanderlust. Recently, it came out with its 4th edition, inviting film enthusiasts from across the country. Have a look.
ये 4 लाइन निकाल के बाकी सब छाप दो. कितनी बार कहा है सरकार के खिलाफ कुछ नहीं छपेगा.
Regarded as heaven on earth, Srinagar became the paradise for film lovers as it hosted a 7-day-long Kashmir World Film Festival. A total of 44 films were selected for screening that included 11 Kashmiri films, 12 from other states of the country and 5 from foreign countries. On the first day, a Hindi Bollywood film, Indu Sarkar, was screened and different cultural programs were presented by the local artists that brought the audience to the edges of their seats. The noted Bollywood actress Tabassum Hashimi, popularly known as Tabu, and Bollywood film director Madhur Bandharkar also attended this edition of Film Festival and greatly appreciated the efforts of organizers for putting up such a wonderful event.
मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ आर्ट की कोई सीमा नहीं होती है. आर्ट होता है ऐसा कि आप हर किसी से कनेक्ट करते हो और फिल्म एक ऐसा माध्यम है वो हमेशा लोगों को कनेक्ट ही करता है, चाहे वो इंटरनेशनल हो, चाहे फॉरेन फिल्म हो, चाहे हिंदी सिनेमा हो या हमारे हिंदुस्तान के कोई भी प्रांत का सिनेमा हो.
आई बिलीव कि जो कश्मीरीज़ हैं वो जनरली काफ़ी आर्ट लवर्स हैं और ऐसी चीज़ें होती हैं तो वो काफ़ी भागते हैं इन चीज़ों की और दे ऑलवेज वांट टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ इट. इनफैक्ट मैं अपना भी बोलूँगी, मैं जब कश्मीर से बाहर जाती हूँ सबसे पहले मूवी देखने के लिए जाती हूँ. सो इट्स अ ग्रेट थिंग एंड आई एम एक्साइटेड अबाउट इट.
Organized by the Actors Creative Theatre, a non-profit organization in Kashmir in partnership with Zee TV and Zee Cinema, the festival is aimed at promoting film culture in the state besides providing a platform to the youth of the region to pick up filmmaking and acting as a profession. It is organized twice in a year and brings world-class films to the youth of Kashmir that include features, documentaries and short films, and is always built around film movement and associated activities to create a platform for movie lovers.
दिन ब दिन मैं देख रहा हूँ लोगों को इस एक्टिविटी पे भरोसा होने लगा है. पहले उनको लगा पता नहीं क्या है, क्या होगा, क्या नहीं होगा, चाहे वो मेरे कश्मीरी साथी हैं, रुफ़क़ाकार हैं या बॉम्बे से लोग जुड़े हुए हैं जो फिल्मों से हैं या दिल्ली से हैं, तो उनको इस पे एक भरोसा बढ़ने लगा है. मतलब पहले कोई मेहमान बॉम्बे से आने को तैयार नहीं होता था, हाँ बड़ी मुश्किल से आ गया कोई. इस बार मेरे 25 मेहमान बॉम्बे से हैं और वो अपना काम छोड़ के या कुछ भी बिजी शेड्यूल छोड़ के आए हैं. उनको अच्छा लगा है और उनके आने से हमें क्या हुआ है फ़ायदा कि इसको एक ब्रांडिंग मिल रही है, एक नाम मिल रहा है. बॉम्बे में भी, दिल्ली में भी, जम्मू में जहाँ खबर जाती है, कश्मीर में भी अच्छा फला फला जो पहचान मिल रही है. दिन ब दिन इसका नाम बनता जा रहा है. वही मेरा एम था, लेकिन अभी यहाँ पे रुकना नहीं है, मंजिल बहुत दूर है.
With strong roots in theatre and independent film, the Kashmir World Film Festival is slowly evolving into a destination for creativity, reimagining the cinematic experience and exploring how art can unite communities.
Such festivals are becoming an essential part of the culture across cities. With that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.